Right, so in this video we're going to see how group data works, so that is grouped as in intervals. So when we're given data points, typically in a table, it's going to be the intervals given and some frequencies given. First thing we want to do is find the cumulative frequency, so that is adding up all the frequencies. So here I have 3, and then the next row I'm going to have 3 plus 6 is 9. Then I add the 5 to get 14, add 4 to get 18, add 2 to get 20. So it's just adding up all the frequencies. So this means that when I have the 14 here, that actually means that there's 14 data points that's going to be 6 or less. This 9 means that there's 9 data points that's going to be 5 or less, and so on. Right, so the thing to notice here is that these intervals can be given and written in different ways. So this of course means that 3 is included and up to not including 4. This can also be written like this. This edged bracket shows us that 3 is in the interval, and this round bracket shows us that 4 is not. Sometimes you just use 2 of these edged brackets and then just whether they are pointing towards the value or away from the value. Like this is 3 is included, 4 is not included. And sometimes again it's given like this. So it's like 120 to 129, and you could think, where's 129.4? Well, in this case, you would go up to 129.9999999 and so on, and then the moment you flip over to 130, it's going to be included in the next interval. So this is basically like this, where it would be 120 to 130, 130 not included. Right, so the key concept with group data, which is basically what we do all the time, is that when we want to calculate stuff like the average or like how many are there in all or stuff like that, what we do is we don't know where the data points lie in the interval. I don't know whether these 3 are at 3.2 or 3.8 or whatever. I don't know where. So what we do is we estimate using the midpoints. So I'm going to say these 3 I estimate are all 3.5. And these 6 are all 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, and so on. The middle of the intervals. If there was this example here, the middle would be 125, 135, 145, and so on. So we're going to use the midpoint to calculate stuff. Now, as for ungrouped data, we have something called the mode. In this case, it's called the modal interval because it's intervals or modal class. And in this case, the modal class is between 4 and 5 because that's the one with the highest frequency. The average is calculated as you can do for ungrouped data. So I'm going to say I have 3 occurrences of, and then notice that I use the midpoint, right? 3 occurrences of 3.5, 6 occurrences of the midpoint, 4.5, so on. And this is my estimate of the average. Of course, if I knew the actual values, I would probably not get exactly this value, but this is my best estimate given only this table. And for the last part, if you want to find the 5-point summary and do stuff like that, what we need is we need to do a graph with our values here. In this case, it's length, and our cumulative frequencies up along the second axis. And then I do some points like this. So at 3, there's nothing that's below 3, so that's going to be 0. When I go up to 4, I know that when I get to 4, I have 3 in all, so 4, 3. When I get to 7, for instance, I know that I've come up to 18. So at 7, I go up to 18 like this. And then I just sort of connect these, either using straight line segments or sort of a soft line connecting these. Anyway, when you've done this cumulative frequency graph, what you can do is you can say, okay, all in all I have 20. That's my total amount of data points. So I can find 25%, 50%, and 75% on my second axis here. And I can go and read off these corresponding length values here. And these are going to correspond to my lower quartile, my median, and my upper quartile. So in this case, my lower quartile is approximately 4 1/3, my median is approximately 5.2, and my upper quartile is approximately 6 1/4. And of course, you could also have exam or exercise questions like how many percent are going to have a length of 7.5 or more. And then you would start down here, go up figure out the value and then say, okay, 6.5, that corresponds to 16. So the four people with the longest lengths, or whatever, I don't know if it's people, that's going to have a length of 6.5 or more. Or you can find like a percentage, like 60% corresponds to what, and then this value would be 5.6, let's say that. So 60% is going to have a length of 5.6 or less, and so on and so forth. And that's basically how you do that. So this is it for now. Have fun.